On May 13th, 2013, a new major update was released for Team Fortress 2 called Robotic Boogaloo, and it was the first ever community-made update for the game, showcasing 57 roboticized versions of pre-existing cosmetics, and an SFM teaser uploaded by Mr. Populous89. The players who were there for it were mostly disappointed with the update, with it getting some backlash as well since they were wishing it'd be more than just a glorified cosmetic update. People were hoping there'd be more to it than this since Man vs. Machine came out not even a year before. This got people thinking if there was meant to be more within this update, and funnily enough, there was. The Boogaloo team not only wanted to include some rusty hats, but they also wanted to throw in some more content too, such as these rusty hats. Alongside those hats were a handful of rejected unusual effects. You can find the video showing them off in the description. The team had also sent word out to TF2MODS.net, who were the largest level designing group at the time, and asked them to create an MVM map making competition. They had intended to include the Frontrunners campaign in the update, and maybe even the second and third placers if they were just as good. Even from outside the team, various other community members joined in on this effort to collaborate. Two MVM mission creators started working on a new campaign that would show off and utilize the community-created reskins, with there being hopes that Valve would accept it, as well as the Boogaloo team. Though before we get into that, the question remains, why did none of this happen? A friend of mine, Snickerpuffs, reached out to one of the team leads, Neo Dement, with questions about Robotic Boogaloo and why some specific features were cut. During their conversation, he was kind enough to share with her some of the nearly decade-old emails between Valve and the Boogaloo team. We at Valve had been going over your plans for the update, as well as what you have in progress. Much of the non-cosmetic additions you mentioned are far too unfinished to be included, be it gameplay-wise, art-wise, or both, so they'll be excluded. We'd be more than happy to include some of our own content to replace it, as we are planning to expand the official MVM experience, but our own goals and intentions don't quite line up with your project. If there's more community-made maps you feel we may have overlooked, please let us know. When they talk about expanding on their official MVM experience, this would then lead up to 2 cities, the last major update for this game mode because just like every other project done for TF2, they're practically immediately abandoned, as MVM didn't even get a full year of support. Thanks, Valve. Now if you thought that was the end of the story, it surprisingly isn't, because not only was there meant to be more cosmetics and weapon reskins, but for a long time there was some actual lost media pertaining to those MVM missions. And to help explain it all, Snickerpuff will be explaining it for part of the video. Take it away, Snickers.
Hello. I started playing TF2 in early 2014, and joined the creator community a few months after that. I would say the golden age of Team Fortress 2, or at the very least its community of creators, was between 2009 and 2016, starting with Sniper v Spy, and ending with Meet Your Match. My reasoning? Variety. If you wanted to see the latest in community-made weapons and cosmetics, maybe even download a few to use in-game as mods, you had plenty of options. You had GameBanana, of course, but you also had the TF2 Emporium community on the FACEPUNCH forums, TF2MODS.net, and POLYCOUNT. Some mods were available across multiple sites, but others were exclusive. Some were only available on special event pages, like the TF2MODS Medieval update, or even their 2 Nights of the Living update. Some are only available to download on special contest sites, like the Retro Futuristic or Musique contests by ModComp, which was run by a few of the folks from Emporium. After Meet Your Match and the community's slow decline, modding options started drying up. The head of FacePunch, Gary Newman, shut down the forums because he wanted it to be more akin to Reddit. And after butchering a lot of the site and receiving negative feedback over it, he not only took the criticism poorly and later shut down the forums despite people wanting it to stay, but was also caught by others having been spiteful towards the community on Discord afterwards. Thanks, Gary, for wiping out over a decade's worth of content over nothing. TF2MODS went from an actively maintained site, hosting many high-quality mods, to a laggy, half-broken mess that had to be taken out back in old Yellard, all within a single year. GameBanana was still an option, but most of those old mods were never maintained for more than a year, and some were even straight up deleted if their creators didn't think they were quality enough. Also, everyone immediately forgot about POLYCOUNT. Like seriously, what the fuck even is this thing?
The fuck is that? Shit!
I fell in love with this game and its community, and to watch all of that lovingly made content slowly slip into non-existence was heart-wrenching to watch. Because of this, I've been digging through the few archives that remain and saving what I can, even if it's just a few trace images of the existence of these mods. A little over a week ago, as of writing the script, I saw the Why TF2 Doesn't Receive Community Updates video by Orange Glazer, and was discussing it with some other longtime community members. One of them mentioned that a former friend of theirs tried to contribute to the update by creating an MVN mission themed around the roboticized hats, but right when they were about to complete it, they were told no. I desperately wanted to know more. Was it ever finished and released? Who was the mission creator? Were they still in contact with this former friend? And could they reach out to ask them if they still had a copy? Actually, it did get a release. The former friend, Abex300, got pissed and leaked the files online not long after the update dropped, but he hadn't played TF2 in years. So, if asking the creator directly was out of the question, maybe I could find someone who was around during that time who possibly downloaded it. Or, bearing that, perhaps I could find where it was uploaded, and see if the download was archived. I sent a few messages to different communities I was in about the hunt for the cut Robotic Boogaloo mission, and spent the next few days digging around in the TF2 Emporium thread archives. While the search was fruitless on my end, outside of a few interesting but unrelated images, the communities I messaged unearthed a lot of things. One of the members in the TF2 Maps Discord, Katsu, discovered a video uploaded by Abex300, featuring him dicking around during the first wave. Right there, we had footage of the mission, along with a dead download link in the description. Since we started from nothing but hearsay, this was a major find. The potato.tf Discord had a few people say, "Oh hey, that's neat," but there wasn't much else. At this point, feeling so close and yet so far, I figured that this wouldn't be as easy of a search as I was hoping for. It's only been a few days after all, and most lost media searches take a long time. Why should I expect anything different for this search? I asked around in a few other servers, then got ready to call it for the evening. Then, 5 minutes later, I got a reply from a person named Akuji. Oh wow, I never realized that something I helped make would actually get people looking for it. Luckily, I have a version of it which I think was the most recent one at the time. It's been years. This was made before the actual robot hats were added, so the hats aren't the robot versions they would have been. I can't vouch for its quality as it was the very early days of custom missions, but hey. And that absolute champion posted the entire goddamn zip file with everything included. Holy shit! I can't quite put into words how ecstatic I felt when I saw that. There it was. The entire Lost Robotic Boogaloo mission, along with every bit of custom content it was supposed to be included with, was right there. I downloaded it, eager to playtest this old and forgotten piece of history, and well, wow, okay, maybe Valve was right in saying that it was too unfinished to be included. It works, and it's fun to play, but it also has a lot of issues. Some of these issues stem from the design of the mission. For example, due to a coding bug, Wave 2 doesn't end unless you slaughter enough of the infinitely spawning support robots. Others stem from the mission just being old. It uses this really neat feature that Valve never used in any of their official missions, where mission creators can have certain sounds play when a group of robots first spawn in during a wave. A couple years ago, Valve updated the game from using WAV audio files to the much more space-saving MP3 files. This mission still uses those original file extensions, so none of the audio plays. I shared some of these issues with Akuji, and they gave me the go-ahead to patch them up and release a fixed version. In fact, they said I could even rebalance and rework the entire mission. But before I get started on that, we should really give this mission a proper playtest, wouldn't you say?
That's much better. Now I can speak. The power's on fire. What?
Signal has been rebuffed to the end of the area. Defeated the wave. Good. Get to an upgrade station. We've got the sentry buster. Another sentry buster has entered the area. You may now take back. 3, 2, 1. Destroyed all cycle. Another way is down, but there are more. 3, 2, 1. Begin descending in 3, 2, 1.
It's assault and battery. Duh.
You flee from them.
And just like that, the hunt was over. But there's still plenty of content in the TF2 community that's lost media. There's always been a creative side of TF2's community, and not everything gets remembered. For example, it's fairly common knowledge, at least in the mapping scene, that the first custom TF2 map was called CP_LazyTown. But, I ask you this, what was the first custom map for every other game mode? What was the first community-made cosmetic or custom weapon? What kinds of HUDs were popular during the first few years of TF2's life? Was the scourge of cookie-cutter minimalistic HUDs we have in the modern day present even back then? I'd love to answer these questions myself, but all that research is a lot for one gal to do. Especially since I have a day job, flipping patties at the local Mac Burger. So that's why I need your help. Reimu has been kind enough to let me include a paste bin in the description of the video, which contains links to plenty of sites and resources, so anyone and everyone can help us with our mission to rediscover and archive all of these old mods. Thanks for having me on, Reimu.
It was nice having you on. It is so interesting to see what we could have possibly had in this update if they were given more time to refine everything. Thank you all for watching, and I'd like to thank both Snickerpuff for such an interesting video topic and collaboration, along with my other friend, Mitzi Jitsi, for doing the voiceover for her. If you liked this video, be sure to give it a like, and if this type of content interests you, leave a comment if you'd like to see more Lost TF2 content cases be brought up in the future. Thanks, and have a good one.